Good evening, Cedar Crest sophomore families. Tonight we are reading A Paintbrush for Paco, written by Tracy Kyle and illustrated by Joshua Hines. A Paintbrush for Paco. Paco gazed out at the late morning sun. He had wondered why recess had not yet begun. He wanted to go to El Campo and play and act like a matador shouting "Olé!" He thought about football and scoring a goal. He wanted to run in the sun. Hace sol. He longed for his lunch with manzanas and cheese. He yearned for a nap underneath the big trees. Paco, he heard. It was el profesor. Let's follow the lesson, he said. Por favor. Paco blushed, turning a light shade of red. He sank in his chair and he lowered his head. But 1 hour later, he could not sit still. He daydreamed and looked out the window until he lifted his lapis and started to draw the life in his pueblo, the world that he saw. He colored montañas that stretched to the sky, with pájaros swooping down low, flying high. He doodled his picture and made a retrato, with Mommy and Papi and Pancho, his gato. Paco, caramba, Professor cried. He leaned on the desk and his eyes opened wide. Paco, he whispered, you must come with me. There's a salon de clase I need you to see. Later they walked down the hall to a room with easels and brushes in bloom. Pink, rosado, purple, morado, a fiery orange, anaranjado, verde, the green in a vine of ripe grapes, rojo, the red in the matador's capes, azul, the blue in a beautiful sky, blanco, the white in the clouds floating by, amarillo, the rays of the sun shining bright, negro, the black of El Campo at night. Next, Paco picked out a brush, un pincel. He chose a few paints and he mixed them up well. He painted and painted, and when he was through, his heart burst in green, yellow, orange, and blue. Professor clapped and said, "Que talentoso! Your artwork is brilliant and maravilloso." Paco was grateful and felt so contento. He knew this was such an important momento. Paco looked up at his proud professor who said, "You're a painter. Tú eres pintor." Later that night, Pablo crawled into bed, a palette of colors swirling in his head. Negro y blanco, azul y rosado, rojo y verde y anaranjado. He fell asleep holding the brush to his heart and dreamed of the new world he'd found full of art. The end.